episode of the Outlaw of College Football. I did change the name back, by the way. I took a few votes and talked to a few people, and everybody says I should go back to the name Outlaw of College Football. Y'all guys tell me what you think about that in the comments section as well. But we're going to talk tonight about the Oklahoma Sooners' biggest mistakes under Brent Venables thus far in his tenure, which has been going on 3 seasons. And maybe talk a little bit about Oklahoma versus Auburn, because a lot of people have been losing their minds, it seems like. I've been trying to tell everybody Sunday, I'm like, look, man, it's just one loss, man. Before the season started, a lot of people were saying, and we predicted, that Oklahoma may go 9-3 or even 8-4. And the Oklahoma fans said they wouldn't be mad and they would understand if Oklahoma lost 3 or 4 games in their inaugural season in the SEC. And I'm like, yeah, well, we'll wait and see until the first loss. And sure enough, y'all get your first loss, and you got a segment of your fan base that's losing their minds, acting like this is the worst loss ever. The world's coming to an end. You only lost by 10. And it brings me back to something eerily similar that I experienced last year with my team, Alabama. And yes, Oklahoma is my second favorite team. As you can see, the Boomer Schooner on top of the belt and the Oklahoma hat, and the next Alabama hat. But it's eerily similar to what happened to Jalen Milroe last year against Texas. It was the first big game that Jalen Milroe had played. This was the first big game for Jackson Arnold. And they both made huge mistakes in the game that probably directly cost their team the game. And then they both got benched. Jalen Milroe didn't get benched during that game. That was the only difference. But he did get benched the following week. And from what I'm understanding out there, Michael Hawkins may be about to take over that spot this week. They said it's going to be an open competition, but I have a feeling Michael Hawkins will be your starter this week against Auburn. At least that's what I'm hearing from a lot of reliable sources out there. And then also, what's eerily similar is the fact that Jalen Milroe and Alabama lost by 10 points to Texas. Y'all lost by 10 points to Tennessee. And without those 2 mistakes, more than likely Oklahoma wins that game. So there was a lot of things in that game that led to the loss. You know, like I said, out the gate, the first drive, and we went down and scored 3 points, you should have went for it on 4th and 1. That was a tone setter. That was, we're playing not to lose. We're not playing to win. We're playing not to lose kind of deal. And that falls on the man in charge. And anybody can do what they want to do, and that's the whole thing. Everybody's coming here blaming Seth Luttrell. And yes, it might be Seth's fault. But at the same time, Brent Venables is the CEO of your company, the Oklahoma Sooners, INC, and he has final say in all that. So at any time, Brent Venables can veto anything that's going on during the game because he's the head coach. So who hired Seth Luttrell? That's my question, y'all. Who hired him? Brent Venables. And I'm not saying, like I told my girl Teresa earlier in the discussion that we had, I'm not saying attack Brent Venables. I'm not saying call for Brent Venables' head. I'm not saying bash him in the comment section. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying don't bash Seth if you can't bash Brent. That's all I'm saying. Because Brent Venables hired Seth Luttrell. And quite honestly, to be bluntly honest with y'all, and hopefully I don't get some unsubscribers because I keep getting them because people don't want to hear the shit. They don't want to hear the blunt, honest truth. They say they want to hear it, but then they don't. But bluntly honest, he could have hired anybody he wanted. Brent Venables could have. He had his pick of who he could hire, and he hired Seth Luttrell. So once again, if we're going to be bashing and bitching at somebody, y'all need to bash and bitch at Brent Venables. Because right now, all that falls on him. It's too early on to be blaming anybody, really. The whole team had a part in what happened Saturday. Well, except maybe the defense. The defense played championship caliber football. But let me see what we got going on in the comment section today. We got the Rhino 26 in the house. He's one of our big donors to the program. Rye Guy 1218 is in the house. He's our resident Oregon guy. This is at Tennessee from 5 to 10 years ago. That's what Sooner fans need to know. And that is true. This is not one of the crappier teams of the Tennessee era from 2010 to 2020. Right guy is right on that. And to further soothe y'all, as an outsider looking in, my guy 1218 says the Vols were actually a good football team for the first time since the 1990s. Now they had a few good teams off and on in the 2010s, but nothing sustained or nothing really consistent. You're right. Yep. All right. John Ritchie's also in the house. John Ritchie says, Thunder OU Sooner play calling has to get a lot better. There's rumors that OU reached out to Kel Gundy. And that's one of the mistakes that I have on my list right here that I'm going to get to in just a second. Matt the Great was talking shit about OU, said the defense is nothing special. Tennessee basically have up at halftime. Maybe he should worry about Georgia 14-12 over Kentucky. Actually, it was 13-12, and actually he's an Alabama fan. But I don't really care for Matt the Great too much. I don't know how the dude's got 200 and something thousand subscribers. That boggles my mind. I guess he'd come along when there weren't many college football podcasts out there. But, yeah, this narrative that's out there about Josh Heupel backed off of Oklahoma because it's his alma mater is horse shit. Josh Heupel didn't back off of anything. When you say that and when you do that, Josh is one of the people that said it, I think. He might have alluded to it. He might not just come out and said it. But a lot of the Tennessee fans are alluding to that and saying that the football field was in shitty shape on purpose to make them slip and slide. They can't even take a win gracefully, much less a loss. And I asked Lane Kiffin about taking a loss in Knoxville. You'll get golf balls and mustard bottles thrown at you. And that's not made up shit. That's a fact. But let's see what else we got up here. The Rhino 26 says, a lot of crybaby OU bandwagon fans. I thought we'd get our ass kicked by 30 comparing to our first 3 games. Defense looked good. Love seeing that. Right. It wasn't but a 10-point game. But back to the whole Josh Heupel thing, backing off the gas a little bit. And yeah, Josh can't be implicated in a lot of this stuff, just like his little his tweets that he done this past week. And they never take good really credit. They go around deleting that shit after they do it. Y'all saw the tweet last week from Josh. But when you say that Josh Heupel backed off of us, that don't give your defense any credit. Josh Heupel didn't lay off the gas. Oklahoma's defense stopped their ass. Plain and simple. Y'all can say what you want to say. Tennessee people that come in here, Big Orange, whatever. Big Orange need to realize that saying stuff like that makes you look like Little Orange. Makes you look little, man. Just go ahead and own the fact that Tennessee's offense is not as great as y'all thought it was. Y'all's averaging 63 points a game against very much inferior competition. Oh, we played NC State and they're ranked 24th. Yeah. And NC State got their ass handed to them by Clemson this past week, 59-35. It was a lot worse than that. Clemson gave up a couple of garbage touchdowns. So they're not a good team. The defense is the only ones who are not at fault, says Teresa Moser. Kane reads in the house. What's up, Outlaw? Robert Bacon says the offense can't be this bad next year. Well, maybe it won't be this bad this year. It's real early, man. Real early. And like I said, if y'all remember back to Alabama and Texas, Jalen Milroe did the same thing. He was a brand new starter. It was his first big game, and he basically made a lot of mistakes, and it was at home, just like y'all's was at home. He made a lot of big mistakes in front of a big crowd and did what a first-time starter does, and that's basically shit the bed against their first big test usually. Most people ain't going to get the Johnny Manziel effect, you know. So, yeah. I'm just saying, cautionary tale here. Don't be so sure that Jackson Arnold won't be the starter against Texas. This may be a situation where they bring in Michael Hawkins to give him his shot, and then when he doesn't do well, then Jackson Arnold will get the spot back against Texas. Because Auburn, the silver lining in all this for the Sooners is Auburn struggling a lot worse than y'all. If y'all think that was one of the most horrific, most embarrassing losses in Oklahoma history, all you got to do is look at Auburn and look at the shit they've been pulling this year. Or Florida State. The fake Indians down there on the reservation, losing their bowels, wetting their diapers, burning the teepees. You even got the squaws down there in Tallahassee crying. It's a lot worse in a lot more places, telling y'all. And like I said, before the season started, a lot of y'all were happy with saying, hey, we'd be happy with going 8-4 or 9-3. Well, guess what? This was one of those losses that was equated by me, anyway, into possibly being 9-3 or 8-4. So to come in here and say, oh, our shit's dashed. We don't have anything to fight for anymore. That's not being a good fan, man. Y'all need to be a good fan, be loyal to your damn team. Don't be jumping off the damn bandwagon and going rooting for Okeechobee Pokey State. By the way, Okeechobee State lost this week to Utah. And the Skittle Shitters lost. And another silver line, the USC Skittle Shitters went to Michigan and shat the bed. That's not saying much, Outlaw. That's not saying much what? Please elaborate, Robert Bacon, because I think I said a lot there. That's just letting you know, don't try to blame one certain person just yet. This is a team that's trying to gel and come together with new starters at quarterback, the most important position. But I do have a list of mistakes by the Brent Venables regime right here for those out there that are saying that someone needs to have their ass fired or benched or someone needs to be grilled at the stake. Let's look here. Oklahoma's biggest mistakes under Brent Venables. My first one up was they fired Cale Gundy last year. It was last year. It was in August. They fired Cale Gundy because he made some off-the-cuff remarks that were misconstrued as racist, which they weren't. He was only repeating the words in a rap song, and Brent Venables buckled and give in to the politically correct bullshit out there. And that worm's starting to turn, just like I said it was last year. And now you're going back and look at it and you're like, damn, we made a mistake. We shouldn't have given in to the politically correct spastics out there. They should have never fired Cale Gundy. Cale Gundy could have been y'all's offensive coordinator. Y'all wouldn't have had to hire Seth Luttrell. Once again, it's not all Seth Luttrell's fault for those Seth Luttrell haters out there. Number 2, this is another thing I've been getting from a lot of Oklahoma fans out here. That's not me saying this. This is your fan base telling me these are the biggest mistakes under Brent Venables. Number 2, Jackson Arnold and his dad pressured the Oklahoma people to push Dylan Gabriel out. Just like numerous of y'all have told me in private conversations, that was a mistake because another year with Dylan Gabriel and having Jackson Arnold learn things a little bit more of a relaxed pace would have benefited him extraordinarily. A lot of these players come in, they're 5-stars, 4-star quarterbacks, and they think automatically, hey, I shouldn't have to set more than one season. It's not the way it works sometimes. Sometimes you have to set 2 seasons. Look at the Alabama quarterback, Matt Jones. He sat behind Tua and Jalen Hurts for 3 years and got his shot, made it to the NFL. These players think that they shouldn't have to set more than one season or they're going to transfer. Well, let them transfer. If Jackson Arnold and his daddy are going to threaten to transfer because they don't get their way, let the sumbitch transfer. Hell, you already got Michael Hawkins and a few other quarterbacks on staff. Was it Casey Thompson, who's a legacy as well? Let his ass go if they're going to threaten to do that shit. Now, I don't know if that's a fact or not. That's just something that some people have been telling me, that Jackson Arnold and his daddy basically threatened to enter the transfer portal if Dylan Gabriel stayed another year. Dylan Gabriel being here this year would have helped out immensely. Y'all must admit that, right? See some of the comments in here. Michael Hapgood, if you analyze the game honestly, OU could have won. 3 turnovers and 1 inside the Tennessee 5-yard line. That is correct, Michael Hapgood. Fred Bagley's in the house. He's got his badge. He's deputized. He's in the outlaw posse. Fred Bagley says, I think bringing Cale back would not only be good, but fair. It would be fair. They fired him for something stupid, and he wasn't racist. If someone else is allowed to say something, whether it be in a song or maybe a parrot saying it, if they're allowed to repeat it, then anybody's allowed to repeat it. There ain't one word in the English dictionary or one word in the world dictionary. I don't care if it's T and E's. If someone else can say it, then you can say it. And all he did was repeat some kind of lyrics in a rap song or something. He's making fun of a rap song, man. Don't be saying the crap in the rap song. If you don't want anybody else saying it, then quit singing shit. That's all I can tell you. Shit pisses me off, man, for real. 1989 M's in the house. He's our resident Michigan fan, and they are still your defending national champions. Go Big Blue. Best fight song and helmets in college football, in my opinion. Hey, guys, I know the topic is OU with all due respect, but the con-time spastics are calling people racist for saying one criticism about Colorado's insane behavior. Yeah, we just beat Baylor that was 4-8 last year. We should be getting all sort of accolades right now. My son should be back in the Heisman race. Wrong answer, con time. Wrong answer. I've been called a racist too, by the way, for calling con time. I didn't know that the word con was a racial slur. Sounds to me like y'all the ones that's inferring racism. Seems like y'all the ones that are judging me by my white skin color sometimes. Just because I'm criticizing somebody that happens to be black or a minority doesn't mean it make me racist. It just means I don't like the dude. I wouldn't give a shit if Con Time was purple. He could be Barney's bastard child. I wouldn't give a shit. I'd still criticize Con Time. Hell, he could be plaid, man. He could come from Jupiter. I wouldn't give a shit, man. If he sucks, he sucks. If he's a con man, he's a con man. I'm going to call it as such. Unsubscribe, subscribe. Don't matter to me. All right, back to the mistakes. As I said, we'll backtrack for a minute. The biggest mistakes under Brent Venables was, one, firing Mike Gundy and giving in the political crap. Allowed Jackson Arnold and his dad to pressure them into pushing Dylan Gabriel out to Oregon, where he actually had a pretty good game last week against Oregon State. Number 3, Brent Venables made a lazy hire when he hired Seth Luttrell. I have nothing against Seth Luttrell. All these people that are grilling Seth Luttrell, I'm not really in agreement with them. But if we're going to talk about it and act like Seth's the problem, well, then we got to figure out who hired Seth. Who didn't really go out and do a national search for an offensive coordinator? That would be Brent Venables. So like I said before, you can't grill Seth unless you're going to grill Brent this early on. Now, next year, if Seth keeps messing up, then you can say, well, Brent made a mistake. Everybody's allowed a mistake. He made a mistake and hired Seth. It's all on Seth. But I think you got to give this man at least a full year of running his system. And from what I understand, Seth Luttrell might have been an air raid guy. Is he being allowed to run his offense? It's just like, when Bob Stoops stopped allowing Josh Heupel to run the air raid and made him run the Manziel shit. And then Josh couldn't do it because it'd be like a Spanish teacher trying to teach German. And then Josh was pushed out. And then we had Josh, as you know, with an axe to grind all week, people talking and making leading statements. But I'm getting off topic here. All I'm saying is, at this point, this early on in Seth Luttrell's regime as offensive coordinator, if you're going to blame somebody, you got to blame Brent for hiring, for making a lazy hire. Deion Sanders is a clown. Yes, he is. And you can add ass or monkey to that, either one. He's an ass clown. He's a ass monkey, a monkey clown, whatever, man. He's just a complete and utter jackass. But yeah. Levy made lots of weird calls, says MWG. Ride Guy 1218 says, you think con time Deion Sanders is happy they don't play Oregon anymore. You damn right. If they were having to play that Pac-12 schedule this year, I was thinking about that. It's funny you brought that up. I was looking at their schedule. I'm like, damn, man. They might actually win 6 games this year. I was grilling the hell out of them saying they probably weren't going to win but 3 or 4 games this year. But they might actually win 6 games because the Big 12 is such a mid-card conference. I know a lot of people want to say, oh, man, we've got the best parity in the world in the Big 12. I hear that shit all the time from Big 12 people. All that says is you got a bunch of mid-carders. Seriously. Y'all got mid-card parity. The SEC, we got championship parity. So there you go. But that was the 3 biggest mistakes that a lot of people have been telling me. A lot of the Oklahoma people out there. So don't get pissed off at me for saying these things, because this is what's been brought to me. Silver lining in this, as I said before, is you're playing Auburn this week. They're struggling even worse than y'all. And so y'all really need this win. If y'all do lose to Auburn for some reason, then, yeah, there's going to be some trouble in paradise. Because then you play Texas. And it's looking a lot like you're going to go down to 500 if you lose to Auburn. I mean, but in college football, it don't play out like that. Just like Kentucky and Georgia. Just like Kentucky and Georgia was 13-12 the week before. Or 2 weeks before. Anyway, regardless, South Carolina went into Kentucky and beat them 31-6. So you're thinking, damn, Georgia's going to go in there and just beat the shit out of them, right? It didn't happen. It's college football, man. Young men that are just not mature, they're going to do shit like this. Just like this past week. Yes, there's a lot of red flags about Jackson Arnold to me, to be honest. But I also think that it's still a little too early to go ahead and decide that he's not worth the time, or that you want him to go into the transfer portal. He had one bad game, right? I mean, they won? Y'all won the first 3 games. I didn't really watch him that much, but a lot of people tell me that he was struggling the first 3 games too. So if that's the case, then it might be a little different than Jalen Milroe. And Michael Hawkins may be the answer. From what I've seen of him in that game, the difference between Michael Hawkins, this is the big difference to me between Michael Hawkins and Jackson Arnold right now. The biggest difference between Michael Hawkins and Jackson Arnold, and why I think Michael Hawkins should be the starter, is it looks to me, just by the eyes and the mannerisms of Michael Hawkins, it looks to me like Michael Hawkins wants to be here. Jackson Arnold doesn't look like he's enjoying himself. He doesn't look like he wants to be here. And I know it's because he's made a lot of mistakes, but it looks to me like he's pressing. Me and Killer Breeze talked about this. It looks like he's pressing. He's not letting things come to him like he should. He's had more snaps than Michael Hawkins, and Michael Hawkins honestly looked a little more comfortable in the situation than Jackson Arnold did. Michael Hawkins looks like that he's invested. Michael Hawkins looks like he wants to be Oklahoma football. That's the biggest difference. That would help, Richard Young says. Let's scroll up a little bit so I can get Richard Young's comment. Richard Young says, beat Auburn and get healthy would really help. Yeah, y'all get a week off before Texas. That's the saving grace right there that I think could help y'all, Richard. That's a great point. If y'all can beat Auburn, get into the off week, get healthy. I think y'all got a chance to upset Texas. Just because Texas is going to do just what all these other young men do. They're going to look at some of Oklahoma's past games. Just like Georgia did with Kentucky. They almost got beat. If Texas does that, Texas could be looking at what happened to them last year. They could be losing another close game to Oklahoma. So a great point, Richard. Fred Bagley says, I just don't believe that Jackson Arnold and his dad forced OU to do anything. Well, I'm not the one saying it, but it's been said to me in numerous private conversations, Fred, from Oklahoma people, that Jackson Arnold and his daddy threw a fit. And that's why Dylan Arnold departed and didn't play in the bowl game. It's because they were pressured. into starting him. I didn't think Brent Venables would buckle like that, me personally, but he buckled on the Cale Gundy shit, so maybe he did. I don't know. Power T's in the house. Power T says, I agree. I think you guys should stay with Jackson Arnold. Tennessee throttled down the second half, so I wouldn't put too much hype into this backup quarterback. I don't know if I'd stay with him, but I would definitely keep it open going into the off week. Get past Auburn. If you can beat Auburn, get into the off week, and then have another open competition at quarterback, even allow the third-string quarterback. Who is y'all's third-string quarterback? Casey Thompson? By the way, speaking of Oregon, Rye Guy, apparently after the Ducks game, Oregon State decided to play Can't Buy Me Love to try to troll the Oregon, even though we beat them so bad to the point they pissed their pants and still wanted to troll. Well, you know, with a team like Oregon Stank, I know you like it when I call them Stank, like Florida Stank and Ohio Stank. The thing with a fan base like Oregon State's, they just don't win consistently enough to know how to troll and how to talk smack, to be honest with you. They're just like, you know, the little spastic bottom rung fans of college football. And you can tell them I said that if you want to. Oh, man. Kenneth Qualls is in the house. By the way, if I can't get to all these comments that are coming through here, if you want to get your comment answered, if you want to ask me a question directly, there's a little money dollar sign at the bottom of this. Click on that, write your comment out, then hit click again, and it'll push it to the top. It'll highlight it, and I'll read your comment over everybody else's. If you want to make a small donation to the show, help keep the lights on. Kenneth Quall says, I think it's early to make a call on Luttrell, but it looks like Hawkins is better suited to run this offense, and he doesn't turn the ball over. That's true. That's true. Teresa Moser says, Outlaw, I've seen posts stating OU is starting to regret leaving the Big 12. Well, now, is that a fact? Damn. Maybe that should be one of the mistakes on this list right here. What do you think? Think I should put that on the list? Let me see. Let me write it on the list real quick. Since Teresa brought it up, Oklahoma made a mistake leaving the Big 12. Exclamation point. So do y'all believe that? Teresa said that some of the Oklahoma people are actually regretting leaving the Big 12, and that's the mistake. That y'all shouldn't be in the SEC, that y'all should go back to the Big 12. Really? Not only are fans already wanting to fire and bench people, they want to leave the SEC. Arnold will win the job back if Hawkins does not play well. If Hawkins does I'm still laughing at Teresa. If Hawkins gets the shit rolling, he will sit behind Hawkins. Yeah, I agree. I think it might just be a game to wake him up like it did Jalen Milroe. I hope that's what happens for y'all. I hope that Jackson Arnold gets benched and uses it as motivation, not to cry and bitch and whine and go to daddy and say, hey, they put me on the bench. They said a bad thing to me. I want to transfer. By the way, who would he transfer to, you think? He was like Arsenio Hall. I like to use Arsenio Hall's little mantra and motto and catchphrase. Things that make you go, Things that make you go, If Jackson Arnold were to enter the transfer portal, where would he go? Who needs a quarterback? Auburn needs a quarterback. You know, the team y'all playing this week, they look pretty bad. Who else? Who else needs a quarterback out there? South Carolina looks pretty bad, and they like taking Oklahoma rejects. And they took Spencer Rattler and took that tight end, Austin, and then sent him back to y'all for a refund. Where else could you go? Michigan. 1989 M's in the house, I think. 1989 M called the Michigan administration today and tell them that Oklahoma is tired of that Jackson Arnold whining ass, and tell them to recruit Jackson Arnold when the transfer portal opens, of course, because we know people don't talk to players and tamper with them. That don't happen. So that's the thought, though, Michigan. That's the thought. Jackson Arnold goes in the portal. Michigan needs to be up there trying to get him, man. Let's see who else. What's somebody been saying here? What's up here? What's going on here? What we got going on here? Fred Bagley says that he has his badge. He's deputized once again. I've heard that from one place, Teresa, from you, and I've seen posts about a lot of BS. I don't know, Fred. I mean, I don't think Teresa's the only one that's been saying it. I have actually seen people talking about that. I'll be honest with you. Not taking a side here. I'm just saying I have seen people talking about Oklahoma and Texas, or Oklahoma specifically, should have stayed in the Big 12 because that's just traditionally where y'all played football for the last, 100 years. I don't think it has anything to do with y'all being scared. It's just tradition and rivalry sort of fit there. You left poor old Oklahoma State behind, man. Why don't y'all do that, man? Poor old Okeechobee State, man. Now they're going to be a mid-carter for life. They don't have that Oklahoma game on their slate anymore to help prop them up. But, hey, silver lining for them is they can be the damn Bedlam champions for life. They don't ever have to play Oklahoma again. Oklahoma belongs in the SEC. I'm surprised they didn't join the conference earlier than they did, says Rye Guy, 1218. I agree. Back when Texas A&M and Missouri joined, it should have been Oklahoma and Texas then. Daniel Looney says it's just time for JA to be JH. Go back to work, be the best backup ever. If you decide to leave, so be it. Not everything works out. That is true, Daniel Looney. $19.99M says, go blue. We'll take any quarterback in the nation at this point. So there you go, Jackson Arnold. Daddy Jackson. Y'all can apply to Michigan, man. Y'all can go to Michigan. This door's open. 1989M said, come on down. Just like Bob Barker back in the day. Come on down. You can be the next Michigan quarterback. Teresa Moser says, Fred, I didn't say it about the Big 12. I reported that I read and was told by several friends. Yeah. She didn't say that she thought that, Fred. She's saying she'd been seeing it. Don't shoot the messenger. Now you know how I feel, Teresa. They be trying to shoot me all the time, man. They tried to Donald Trump me, man, tried to clip my ear. By the way, Donald Trump is going to be here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama in a couple of days. He's going to be here at Bryant-Denny Stadium for the football game. Hopefully nobody tries to clip him here. Because down here, you better hope the Secret Service gets a hold of you first. We see you doing that shit. Mm-hmm. There's some swamps down there in Utah, Alabama. Got some awfully hungry gators down there. You'll find your little spastic ass, liberal ass, blue painted hair ass floating around in that damn water all of 5 seconds before them gators eat your ass. You come in here and try to take a shot at Donald Trump, see what happens. If you care so much about tradition, then become Oregon State or Washington State. Yeah, those little bitches, man, they're still crying to this day. Ooh, y'all left us behind. Well, guess what, Washington State and Oregon State? If you didn't want to be left behind, you should have won more games throughout history. You don't have the tradition to be in a Power 4 conference. You just don't. Some people just aren't meant to compete like that, man. That's why they're going to probably end up microcosming this thing down, I think, at some point to somewhere between, I'd say, 50, maybe 50 to 68. somewhere along in there, 50 to 68 teams. It's going to come down to that eventually, I think. I know this year you're allowed to have a G5 team in the playoffs. There's one spot for a G5 school. The best G5 school gets a bid to the playoffs. I think that'll go away soon. But I think they're going to 16 teams eventually. I hate that idea. I didn't like the idea of going to 12 to begin with. I didn't mind expanding. I just think 12 is too many. I think they should have went to 8. But they need to stay at 12. But 16 would actually give the top 4 seeds a home game. See, that's the only thing that sucks about being a top 4 seed is you don't get a home game. This year, if your seeds 5 through 12, I think it's seeds 5 through 8, you get a game on campus. That's like they're getting rewarded for not making the top 4. So in that aspect, yeah, maybe we should go to 16. So at least the top 4 can get rewarded with a home game. Now, I know they get rewarded with a bye week, but there's so much time off during Christmas. Do you really need that long off before you play another game? I don't know. What do y'all think? John Ritchie says you can go grab Davis Bevelle from South Carolina. 1989 M. We don't know Oregon State or Washington State anything. Y'all don't know them anything. Just like Oklahoma don't know Oklahoma State shit. Oklahoma State's been a charity case for the better part of 100 years. Yeah, I know Oklahoma State's been beating Oklahoma a little bit more regularly this century. But still, Mike Gundy, I'm a man, I'm 54, I'm a man, I'm going to be 72 one day, I'm a man, I'm going to retire one day, I'm a man. I know that man for the Okeechobee State has beaten them like 4 or 5 times out of 17 meetings. Hey, if you've been anywhere else, you've been fired. Oklahoma State's a charity case. Oklahoma has pulled them with them for over 100 years, and they couldn't get it right. Texas, I don't know about Texas. Texas ain't been pulling nobody's weight. Texas is just Texas. Although there was rumors that Texas wanted to try to get Texas Tech in, that shit's not going to happen. Nobody wants to go play in Lubbock. But Washington State and Oregon State's the same mold as Oklahoma State. They've been riding Oregon and Washington's, I ain't going to say the nasty word, but they've been riding it. They've been riding the coattails of Oregon and Washington for quite some time. Yeah, they win every once in a while, of course. But, no, man. At least Oregon and Washington are still playing them and giving them that season ticket package. Oklahoma didn't give Oklahoma State shit. They just said, hey, we're gone, buddy. Sorry. See ya. Sure wouldn't want to be ya. I don't know where Killer Breeze is. You know, he's out there on that lake in the middle of nowhere in Texas, in his RV park out there. You know, he's the king of the RV park out there. He's the king of the hill. You know, sort of like Josh Heupel. A lot of people tell me he looked like Bobby Hill. You know, the little kid from King of the Hill. He looks like Bobby Hill all grown up. I've even had some Oklahoma fans tell me that Josh Heupel, while they're grateful for what he did, win a national title at Oklahoma, he's sort of used all that up with some of the comments he's made this past week, and that he looks like a grown-up Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. Basically saying he looks like – he just looks goofy. I had one girl tell me, Josh Heupel looks goofy as hell. He does. Got about 3 chins right there, don't he? Need to go invest in some electrical or down maybe go use the gym membership at University of Tennessee or something. Eight teams, no buys, Power 4 conference wins, 4 best after that, says Daniel Looney. Yeah, I could go with that. Rye Guy 1218 says, I guess I could see Texas Tech in the SEC, but don't know if they'll get in. Maybe. I'm making fun of Lubbock because it's way the hell out there. Lubbock may be a great city. I don't know, man. I'm just playing around. But I've heard that it's just way the hell out there. It's hard to get to Lubbock. Sort of like Fayetteville, Arkansas. I heard it's a pain in the ass to get to. Teresa said, "Oh my God, he does look like Bobby Hill." Someone should make a meme of him on Bobby Hill's body, all grown up and shit. Texas Tech will be like Florida or Mississippi State. Now, Florida, that's a little unfair. Florida actually used to be a powerhouse not too long ago. They were winning national championships under Urban Meyer. And they were doing decent there in the mid-teens. They just got rid of Dan Mullen for having one bad season. And now where they're at because of what they've done. They should have never fired Dan Mullen to begin with. Just like the whole Frank Solich situation in Nebraska. They still trying to recover from that shit. Sometimes people are just a little spoiled, you know. John Ritchie says Josh has gained 200 pounds since he left OU. So that make him what, 300? 350? Yeah, man, 200 pounds. No, man, you exaggerating. That put him at 400 pounds, John. Damn, man, you mean, man. I thought I was grilling on him, man. You just burned his ass up. It is on the Okie State fans saying that Sooners belong in the SEC, says Chris Lieberman. Maybe. There may be some plants. There may be some Okie State or Okie Pokey Chokey State fans out there that are pretending like they're Sooner fans in order to try to troll a little bit and aggravate and make Oklahoma look bad. I could see that happening, Chris. Rye Guy is making a notation in his what he said about Florida. Yes, under Billy Napier, you're right. But they did beat Mississippi State. But, man, Texas somebody done Texas a huge solid, man. They got Mississippi State this week, the worst team in the SEC, is their opening SEC game. Then their opening road SEC games at Vanderbilt. Then they play Kentucky and Florida. Both of those suck. So the only good teams they play are Georgia and Texas A&M, right? Georgia, they get at home, and Texas A&M, they get on the road to them. But Texas A&M ain't shit. Hell, they almost lost to Bowling Green. They did lose to Notre Dame at home, who got beat by Northern Illinois. So, yeah. Richard Young says Josh gets the munchies at midnight. See, like one of them gremlins? Remember the movie Gremlins? Don't feed them after midnight. Don't do it. Fred Bagley says Lubbock is like being on the moon, but a lot of good-looking women. I worked there for a while. Well, now, I changed my tune a little bit about Lubbock. The Lubbock Lusties. Got a bunch of Lusties out there, huh? Well, damn, Fred, you're going to get me in trouble. My wife's going to see me on here talking about hotties in Lubbock. Damn, man, you trying to get me divorced, ain't you? Oregon's first Big Ten games, I think, are UCLA and Michigan State. Yeah, I saw their schedule earlier. UCLA sucks. Although they did give LSU a game for a half. Michigan State looks a lot better, although they lost to Boston College. But Boston College is a good team this year. I think Boston College is 3-1. Would not surprise me if Oregon starts kicking it in. I think the Oregon State game may have woke the offense up. It would not surprise me if Oregon goes undefeated until they play Ohio State. By the way, I think that game is going to be nationally televised. Might have to watch that one. If Ohio State is still winning, which I don't see no reason why they wouldn't be unless they get a rash of injuries. Teresa Moser says, I'm not looking forward to Texas. Well, it's according to how y'all do against Auburn, really. Michael Hawkins has a breakout game at Auburn, and then y'all have a week off for Michael Hawkins to really get entrenched in the offense. May bode well. If y'all go down there, Michael Hawkins stinks it up. Jackson Arnold has to come in and save the day, or Casey Thompson. Then maybe a lot of questions going into the off week. Good thing is, though, either way, That off week is coming at a great time for Oklahoma. But you got to beat Auburn, especially for me. I've been supporting Oklahoma and helping y'all since Lincoln Riley, Linky Boy, TBOW. TBOW stands for the bitch out west. We have to mention that at least once every show. That's the acronym for Lincoln Riley, SOPN by the Oklahoma people. But I've been supporting Oklahoma people since that happened. So I need y'all to support me, man. Beat Auburn. Beat them. Ohio State will be hard. You're right, guy. Fred Bagley says, we remodeled a brown shoe store in the mall. I never saw more guys with one eye on their work and one eye on the ladies walking by. More of that Lubbock. Get me in trouble with Lubbock tonight, man. I'm about to make a song about Lubbock women. I'm about to sing a country song one day. Teresa Moser says, breaking news, BV has just announced Michael Hawkins will be the starting quarterback on Saturday. Are you messing with me or is that for real? I haven't been following the news today. But that's a good thing, I guess. I mean, some people would prefer that you hold out, though, and sort of keep it a secret until the day of the game so that the opposing team has to prepare for both quarterbacks. I might have kept it under wraps a little bit if I were Brent Venables. Nobody's going to win every game in the SEC. What's happened before, but it doesn't happen a lot. You're right, Chris. Cash App the man. Yeah, I forgot about that, Tobin and Bradshaw. In the scroll down here at the beginning of the scroll, you'll see I have a Cash App. If you want to cut the middleman out and maybe help donate to the program, help keep the lights on, you can hit that Cash App that's coming across the scroll down here in just a second and donate to the program and cut the YouTube censors out of the mix. But if you don't want to do all that, and it's a lot easier to go right down here to that little $money sign. There's a little $money sign at the bottom of this conversation we're having. Click on that $money sign, write your comment out, then hit send, and it'll highlight your comment and push it straight to the top, and I'll answer your question over everybody else's. Also, you can join the Outlaw Posse. You'll see Fred Bagley in here with his badge and Denizen and other people with their badge. It's not but $2.99 a month. That's just 75 cents a week. You get a random Four Horsemen shout out on the actual podcast, as well as possible be the comment of the day. And I'm going to go ahead and mention some Four Horsemen right now, and I'll probably put them on the podcast as well if I do one later. The Four Horsemen shout outs are Darth Iskines, Richard Burton, Corrections 101, and Eric Taco Marino. Get your badge and get deputized. Be an Outlaw Posse. Little join button over by the subscribe button. The big four, like, share, comment, and subscribe. They're all free. A lot of people think subscribing and joining is the same thing, and they can't hit the subscribe button because they think they get charged for something. Subscribing is absolutely free, and sharing is too, and those two really help. Jump out of the conversation too, if you don't mind right now. Hit that like button, and we'll get more people up in here and get this party crunk and try to make a decision on what the biggest mistakes are for Brent Venables in his first 3 years here, is what we've been discussing, as well as the possibility that maybe Oklahoma fans may be overreacting, and that Oklahoma season is not done. It's not finished. There's still a lot of season left and a lot of things that can be accomplished out of this season. So y'all don't give up just yet. Alabama was in the same exact spot last year. Same exact spot. John Ritchie says, I sent you an article in your DMs reported it, that Michael Hawkins is indeed going to be the starter this Saturday. John Christophic says Alabama should be number one. I appreciate that. We'll find out real soon. If Alabama beats Georgia, they probably will be at least number two behind Texas. Because so far, much as I hate to admit it, Texas has been the most impressive team. Everybody's on this Arch Manning bandwagon. It's going to cause some controversy, I think. It might be a bad thing. when Quinn Ewers comes back, because Arch Manning's, he's put up some numbers, but he ain't played nobody. He played UTSA and La Monroe. A little misleading. So when Arch actually plays somebody that really matters, and they're not going to play anybody this week. They're playing Mississippi State. And after that, I think they got Vanderbilt. So I don't think he's going to have to play against anybody to really prove his worth. If he plays Georgia, maybe. Although it's not impossible for us to beat Ohio State, we did beat them a few years ago, and that game was amazing. Yeah, it was the first time that Oregon ever beat them. I think Oregon, they was 9-0 against Oregon going in that game, and Oregon finally beat Ohio State. If I'm not mistaken. You can correct me on that. I don't know if it was 9-0 or 10-0 or 8-0 or whatever. Power T says Tennessee smoked Oklahoma like a Virginia Slim cigarette. It's got the big oranges out. GBO, which stands for Go Big Orange, from the Tennessee contingent. Power T, Tennessee did not smoke OU, says Thunder OU Center. That is true also. For the Tennessee fans out there that say they smoked them, 10 points ain't smoking anything except, getting a win. That's about all you can say. You got to win. The field wasn't the problem. Y'all need to quit that shit. You need to win with a little humility and maybe some sportsmanship instead of throwing mustard bottles and golf balls whenever you get pissed off about something. I'm just playing with you now. Don't go and leave. As a matter of fact, I'd like for you to subscribe to the channel, Power T. It's not nothing to it, man. It's just free. Just hit that subscribe button and bring your Tennessee people up in here. But it wasn't a blowout. Y'all didn't smoke them. The offense looked sloppy, and it wasn't the field. Josh Heupel didn't back off because Oklahoma's his alma mater, because that was cutting a little close, because when Oklahoma scored at the last there, if they made that 2-point conversion, Oklahoma would have been within an onside kick and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion tying that game. So I doubt Josh Heupel backed off to that degree. They just couldn't handle OU's defense as well as they thought they could. Oklahoma's defense played at a championship level. They played a level as such that Oklahoma probably should have won that game. I'm an Alabama fan. I'm unbiased saying that. Thunder OU Center says, Power T, Tennessee only won by 10 points. That's not smoking anybody. And OU's defense was second your quarterback. That's the thing. As I was saying in the multi-chat before the game, a lot of people that are in here, they're in our multi-chat on Facebook. I can add y'all to that too if you want me to. Just hit me up on Facebook under Jesse Paul Clark, spelled Jessc without the I, and I can add you to our Facebook chat. But I was saying that I was like, man, if y'all just get to that guy, if y'all hit him a couple of times, he's young, he's probably going to let that ball go. And sure enough, man, it wasn't but a play later, his ass fumbled at the 5-yard line. And then OU give it right back to him with a young quarterback, Jackson Arnold. 2 young quarterbacks coming in from the same class. Both of them looked a little shaky, to be honest with you. Nico is not the star of that offense, really, to me. Your running game has what has helped Tennessee win the games they've won so far. The running game is where Tennessee's the strongest, not the passing game. But, if some more defenses, see what Oklahoma did, get to that quarterback, hit him a few times, he's going to mess up and he's going to fumble the ball. I really believe that. And I'm not saying that to aggravate you, Nico, Power T, about Nico. I'm just saying it's obvious. It's right there. You get to him, you get pressure on him, Nico will mess up because he's young. When your guys fake injuries after every big play, where is the humility in that? My guys? My team's Alabama, but I do like Oklahoma. I'm not going to lie. I like Oklahoma a lot better than Tennessee. But where's the humility in that? Well, I tell you, it's like this, man. Just like Dick Saban said. It's not fair to the defenses for you to play at that kind of pace. Number one, you can get injured if you're playing at that kind of pace. There should be some kind of rule in place where the defense gets a chance to get set. Bottom line, in my opinion. And your opinion may be, hey, that's tough shit. If you get injured, you get injured. But my point is that it allows for people to get injured a lot when you're going at that pace and people can't get set and they're twisting their ankles and their knees, just twisting all over the place. And your body's not meant to twist up that fast and get in position for a play that quickly. I just don't think it's good football, man. It actually puts you at a disadvantage as an offense if you somehow mess up on that play, get an illegal procedure or something like that, and you score, or you have to give the ball back too quick and your defense gets tired. That's why a lot of those hurry-up offenses, their defenses give up 30 or 40 points a game. It's because they don't give their defense any rest, and then you end up losing in the games that really matter. Sort of like Oklahoma used to do under Lincoln Riley, and like they do now under USC. Bama clown making excuses for being wrong. Being wrong about what? Being wrong about what, Gay Landers? What am I wrong about? Everything I'm saying here today is true. Everything I've said tonight is true. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tennessee won by 10. There ain't no excusing that. They won by 10. That's all I said. Y'all act like you blew somebody out. You didn't blow anybody out. You might have went home and blowed your boyfriend down there on Beale Street in Memphis on your way back to Knoxville. But, you know, making excuses for nothing, man. Tell me. Man, that's a lie. You won't ever see Tennessee faking injury. Yeah, y'all do it. Every single team does it, Power T. Even Tennessee. They all do it, man. They all do it. Go ahead and count Boomer Center out, Tennessee. MVP, Jackson Arnold won't see the field again, Boomer. Hopefully, I think you're being sarcastic there. I won't count Boomer Center out. I won't count anybody out at this point. Even Tennessee. Even though their offense looked shitty, and they claimed they was going to beat Oklahoma by 50 or 60 points, man. And then they come in here talking shit to me as an Alabama fan. Oh, you're just mad because we beat y'all. Y'all didn't beat us last year. We beat y'all, man. You got to stay a little more current, man. Look, Alabama's done beat Tennessee 17 out of 18. Is that right? 16 out of 17? Let's be nice. Let's go with 16 out of 17. We've beaten Tennessee 16 out of 17 times, man. You think I care? Or we're scared of what you think? Man, we don't care, man. We're going to go up there to Knoxville this year and slap y'all around, so it ain't going to be no big deal, man. Y'all come back down to earth and y'all disappear as soon as y'all start losing games again like you did last year. Show you the tape. All right, you show me the tape then, man. Show me the tape where Oklahoma did that deliberately, where you can prove it was deliberate. Show me the tape, man. Since you asked me to show you tape, you show me. Go be Missouri. Be the show me state. Go show me, man. Go get the clip and send it to me, man. Jesse Paul Clark on Facebook. Send it to me on Facebook Messenger. Or you can send it to me in my DMs on Twitter at OCF Productions. Exactly. Max Todd just made my point crystal clear once again to expound on it. Bama fans don't pay attention to Vol fans. Alabama's beat y'all 17 out of 18 games. It's either 17 out of 18 or 16 out of 17. Either way it goes, it's called being owned and emasculated. That's what Tennessee fans are. Bring y'all's asses in here. Go get some more of y'all, man. Let's do this thing, man. I can handle y'all all by myself. I don't even have a guest on tonight. Bring it. Come on, man. Bring Tennessee fans in here, and I will educate every single one of y'all, man, on college football. I'm a college football historian. Got it? Good. Class dismissed. Fred Bagley says, power to you, won. Quit whining about winning. Or is it your pudding for not winning bigger? I think they're pudding, man. I ain't going to say that word because it's disrespectful to women. Try not to say it. Sometimes I slip up and say it. When did Oklahoma score a touchdown again? I think they scored a touchdown pretty late, right? They scored a couple touchdowns, did they not? I think they did. Yeah. Didn't Oklahoma score 2 touchdowns in that game? I'm not sure of the exact time that it happened, Power T. But, go look it up for me. I was trying to find Dennison's contact here, but I didn't. I'm an Alabama fan, can't spell college football, man. I can outspell you anytime. Anytime, brother. Anytime you want to play Trivial Pursuit. We got games on Facebook that you can play. We can play Words with Friends. I used to be a champion at that. You're talking to the wrong people, man. That's what gets me about Tennessee people and some Georgia people is y'all make these comments about Southern people, and y'all in the South, you idiot. You make these stereotypical comments about people from the South, and y'all are in the South. As a matter of fact, the reason why most people up north think that we're a bunch of toothless wonders is because the first states they see are Kentucky and Tennessee. When they get on further in the South, they'll see that there's normal people down here. But right there in the middle with all them hills and all them hillbillies in Tennessee, man, and all the toothless wonders up there, y'all give us a bad look to the north, man. Get y'all shit together, man. Brush your damn tooth or something. I believe it was 2 rushing touchdowns, which nobody has done on Tennessee. Yeah, what happened to that great Tennessee defense? We don't give up scores. We've got up no scores in 16 quarters. Although we've been playing the Sisters of the Poor. Oh, we played NC State. Yeah. How many ACC titles has NC State won in football here recently? No, me. They can't even win that shitty-ass ACC, man. Y'all beating up on them 51-10. Clemson done you one better and put 59 on them. Done you 8 better. Touchdown, 2-point conversion better. I thought Tennessee fans were proud of being from the South. I don't know, man. He's wanting to come here and making stereotypical Southern jabs that kind of, I would understand if it was coming from an Oregon person like yourself, because, you can say that shit. You from Oregon. Or somebody from Chicago or New York. But for Tennessee and Georgia people and Florida people to try to make fun of Alabama with stereotypical Southern jabs is borderline retarded, man. I'll be honest with you. I know I'm not supposed to say that word, but man, I can't think of nothing else to say other than the truth. And it's just spastic retardation by Tennessee to make Southern jokes. Y'all the first state they see just about, except for Kentucky. Like I said, man, y'all give the South a bad look, man. Power T versus JPC. Let's do this. Invite him on the show. Let's do it. Power T. Look me up on Twitter, now called X, at OCF Productions. Look me up. If you want to be on the show, we'll talk off air. And if you feel comfortable getting on here and talking football with me, you can be on here with me and we can talk smack all day long, brother. Can't rattle my cage, son. My team's an 18-time national champion. Oh, those national champions, some of those don't count. Go ahead and save you the time so you don't have to type all that shit that y'all like to spew. Tennessee ain't won a big game since the late 90s. Tennessee ain't won shit since 98 when Phil Fulmer basically stabbed Johnny Majors in the back and took his program from him while he was in the hospital. And these people prop Phil Fulmer up like he's some kind of great person. Phil Fulmer is the biggest piece of dung of all time. This dude, man, after he won that one national title, he saw that Alabama was getting better, and him and his entourage got caught giving money to T. Martin via Western Union in Mobile, Alabama. And so they got caught by the NCAA, so they tried to sell us out and get us put on probation, which they did, and try to kill the program, which they didn't. And Phil Fulmer had a writ out for his arrest. So he don't want to tell you all that. I remember all this shit. And Tennessee tried deep sixes, man, because they couldn't handle us coming back. Well, after we got off probation, Nick Saban got here, slapped Phil Fulmer around a little bit, his ass left. And then they bring his ass back in. Once again, the cancer that he is. First of all, he stabs Johnny Majors in the back and takes his job away from him while he's in the hospital. And then the AD goes out to Los Angeles to hire Mike Leach or Greg Schiano, and the fans act like spastics and go out there and draw colorings, caveman colorings on their little stupid-ass rock and run Greg Schiano out of there and let Phil Fulmer come in while the AD is going to L.A. and take his job. Y'all have constantly let Phil Fulmer destroy that program, and y'all are in the shit pile of shit that you're in because of the stupidity that people try to tell you about. Oh, you're just jealous of Phil Fulmer because he was a one-hit wonder in 1998. Phil Fulmer destroyed your program. If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at Phil Fulmer. He's a complete and utter idiot. There you go. There's your college football history lesson for the day, class. Dude, I don't have to kick you out of anywhere, son. You right here in my face, I'm right in your face. What you gonna do, man? I just give it a complete history lesson of why y'all are in the shit show that you're in. You're now recovering just a little bit. Y'all still ain't won an SEC title in almost 20 years, man. Not only have you not won a national title since 1998, you ain't won a freaking SEC division title in about 15 or 20 years, man. And we don't have divisions no more, so y'all can't win that now. What more do you want, man? Philip Fulmer didn't beat shit out of Alabama every year. As soon as we got old Dennis Franchione in here, he whooped your ass. Y'all let Dennis Franchione beat y'all, man. You better know your history, son, before you come at me. Y'all are beating up on Mike DeBose and shit, Mike Shula. Franchione beat you. Then he got run out of here because of the damn probation shit that, y'all tried to frame us for. You did your little sissy-ass, cowardly quid pro quo with NCAA. That's what you did, because that's what y'all are. Y'all a bunch of cowards, man. Y'all couldn't beat us straight up. Y'all knew we were coming back, so that's why you did that shit. Nick Saban comes in here and owns that ass. Owns that ass. Y'all beat Nick Saban one time. One time out of 17 times. Even further back, when Bear Bryant was here, if you want some more history, he owned your ass too. Beat you like 9 or 10 years in a row. So whenever Alabama has a good coach in here, y'all can't beat us, man. Y'all just can't. Y'all probably won't beat us this year. Just saying. I'm just glad you haven't kicked me out, bro. That's all everybody else, like the Hall of Fame podcast, all those other ones, if you're not pumping sunshine and Skittles and rainbows for Oklahoma. I understand, man. I just like talking smack. I'll back off a little bit. I don't want to hurt your feelings anymore. I mean, you're just expressing yourself. Your joy and your passion for your team is admirable. I mean, I'm just giving it back to you. So don't let me run you off, because I am pretty good at running people off. I'm not like Hall of Fame. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about old Marshmallow over there, Jason Watkins, who a lot of people kiss his ass. I'm not kissing his ass. He makes some damn very slanderous statements about me, calling me a racist and stuff, because he's a coward too. He claims to be an Oklahoma guy, but he used to work for Texas Tech, by the way. HOF, Marshmallow Media is what we call him, because he looks like a big-ass Stay Puft Marshmallow, Power T. And you can tell that bitch I said that. I don't care if he's an Oklahoma guy or not. You're old enough to remember we whooped Alabama until Saban got there. So do you think that that's all there is in the history of football, man? Because Gene Stallings was beating y'all in the 90s. You don't remember that? He beat y'all a few times. Like I said, Dennis Franchione got one on y'all. Y'all don't remember that shit? Then we had Mike Shula, because we went through that stupid shit where Mike Price got caught in the strip bar and we had to hire a coach in the middle of the freaking summer, which nobody ever has to do. Usually don't happen, and put us behind the 8 ball. So y'all started winning some more games. But Mike Sheila beat y'all too a few times. Did he not? And then, of course, Nick Saban came. It's all fun to be. It's not personal. Yeah, it's not personal to me either until you make it personal. Now, if you start taking these stereotypical shots about Alabama people and our cousins and all that crap, I'm going to throw it right back on you. I'm just going to flick it right back on you, man. Because southern states that make southern stereotypical insults to other states, it's pretty bush league, man. Pretty bush league. Max Todd says Neyland Stadium is Bryant-Denny North. That's true. We own Baton Rouge too, by the way. Now they have gotten a few wins in Baton Rouge here recently, but from like 1969 to 1999, Alabama did not lose in Baton Rouge. So we're pretty good at coming in and taking people's shit. Y'all the ones talking smack about Alabama, so don't get mad at me when you start talking shit. I'm gonna have to talk shit back. What's true, man? What's true? What's true? Everything I said, yeah, you're right. Everything I said was true. I'm done. Some people need a reality check sometimes. Yeah, they do. All right, man, it's been fun. It's been real, and we got to talk a little bit and vent a little bit about Oklahoma. Any other topics y'all want to talk about tonight before we get out of here? I can keep this thing going as long as y'all want, if y'all want to push the conversation. Also, like I said before, if you want to help me out, hit that money dollar sign at the bottom, make a small donation program, type your comment out, push the top, get it highlighted, and I'll answer your question above everybody else's. Also, join the Outlaw Posse, $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. Get your badge, you get deputized, like Fred Bagley down here. So we talked about Oklahoma's biggest mistakes under Brent Venables. We got that out of the way. The silver lining will be that y'all playing Auburn. Some must-win right before Texas, and the fact that I think the reason why Michael Hawkins right now to me is the guy you need to go with is because he looks invested in his eyes, man. You can see it in his eyes, man. He wants to be here. Michael Hawkins he just gives me that aura, the mannerisms that I saw in the short time that I watched him play. He just looks like he wants to be on the field for Oklahoma. Not saying that Jackson Arnold don't want to be. I'm just saying it looks like that Jackson's a little more out of sync than Michael Hawkins right now. It is true that Tennessee has kissing cousins. You're right. Like I said, y'all are the first two states that they see. Kentucky, inbreds. Tennessee, even more inbred. Then when you get down to Alabama, things start changing again, man. People start being normal. You get to around Huntsville, Alabama. Now we'll give you some of them northern people, North Alabama people like in Florence and shit. They're corrupted by being around that Tennessee orange stank. So they're a little corrupted. But anything past Huntsville, man, people are normal. They don't kiss cousins. And, see, you're getting personal, bro. So I'm just going back with you. Florida, great people. A lot of northern implants, though. Georgia people, they're sort of iffy sometimes. Mississippi people, does anybody really want to live in Mississippi? Yeah. All right. Richard Young says, I think Hawkins will shine. Fred Bagley says, from what I heard, Val fans were very nice to everyone at the game. Of course, they're in Norman. You're going to get the nicer Tennessee fans in Norman because they actually have good jobs and don't act like spastics. You go to Knoxville, anybody can get a ticket in that sardine can. That's what Knoxville is, man. That damn stadium is probably one of the worst stadiums in America. It says 101,000 seats, but I'm telling you, it's not 101,000 seats, man. These damn seats about that damn big, man. They push everybody in the Neyland Stadium like a pack of sardines, man. And it smells like sardines in there. So, yeah, they're nice when they're visiting. But when you go to Knoxville, watch out for the golf balls and the mustard bottles. Just ask Lane. Damo says, appreciate the donation, Damo. Damo says, for $4.99, says, been watching you for a few years, Outlaw. Don't chat much, but appreciate you taking OU side a lot. Who's going to the SEC championship game, you think? Right now, if you're going to be Captain Obvious about it, right now it looks like Texas and Alabama, to me. Now, Tennessee people will disagree with me, and they'll come in here and say because they beat the shit out of Oklahoma. I mean, they're just decimated. They beat them by a whole 10 points, man. That's a touchdown and a field goal, man. We owned you. Okay. Yeah. All right. Whatever. But, yeah, the sarcasm in me is dripping. I need a napkin to wipe the sarcasm off myself. But right now, and I'm not saying it because I'm an Alabama homer either, but right now, the two best teams in the SEC so far have looked like Texas and Alabama to me. Ole Miss hasn't played nobody. They've been running up a bunch of points, so like Tennessee did before they played a real defense, and they couldn't score but 25. Texas and Alabama right now, for me. Who you got, Damo? Who do y'all got in here? Who do y'all got going to the SEC title game? As Damo just asked. Power T with a big $20 donation. I guess he's one of those rich Tennessee fans that made it to Norman. Just playing, brother. Just playing. Just playing, man. Don't unsubscribe. Don't take the money back. $19.99 donation, man. Y'all done let a Tennessee fan come up here and one up y'all. It's all good fun, says the Power T. Right Guy 1218 says, I even got a cousin down in Florida who is a lesbian. However, her and her partner were both big-time Trump supporters. Oh, getting a little political here on me, huh? Well, let me tell you something, man. I don't have a problem with people being gay. That's their thing. That's their decision. But it's just like being straight. You don't see me going to a job interview or going on TV and saying, hey, I want to come out of the closet. I want to say I'm straight. They do that with gay people and transgenders. And I'm like, is it anybody's business what you do in the bedroom? Why is that relevant to a football game? Why is that relevant to a speech? Why is it relevant to a job interview? It's not. Nobody cares what you do in your sexual endeavors. So, just saying. I have no problem with gay folks. What I have a problem with, though, is transgenders. Because they are actually ashamed of being gay. They are bigots. Because they're usually gay men that suck at whatever sport they're trying to be a part of. So they start pretending like they're women, saying, well, I'm a woman inside. Even though I got a penis on the outside, I'm a woman inside, so I should be able to compete in women's sports, even though I got an inherent advantage over them. In the bone massity, in the dense massity of my bones, I have an advantage over women that's unfair. But I want to compete in women's sport because I feel like I'm a woman and I want to be with a man. But I can't get with a man because there's too many straight men out there or something like that. All that is gay men that are ashamed of being gay. And guess what? That makes you a bigot against your own sexuality, you cowards. I can see Texas and Alabama. Says Damo, hard to believe Georgia getting left out. I think Tennessee looks solid as well, but they got to prove they can get over the hump. Yeah, now they did beat Alabama 2 years ago in Knoxville, so that's what they're clinging to. They're thinking, well, we got the game in Knoxville again, so by God, we're going to win it again. And they just may do that. The Tennessee-Alabama game, to be fair, no trash talking here, Tennessee and Alabama could be to decide who plays Texas because there's no divisions this year. Thank God. The division shit was stupid. I don't know why they hung on to it for so many years. The Tennessee-Alabama game could decide who plays Texas. Unless there's a little controversy brewing between Archman and Quinn Ewers, which could unseat Texas. I see Alabama and Tennessee in a rematch game. Who knows? Alabama and Georgia in a rematch game. Power T says, I can't wait for Bama week. We'll all be here. I'll be in here all week. Yeah, I can't wait either. I need to start doing some more Alabama stuff. People get on to me, say I do too much Oklahoma stuff. But they pay the bills. They pay the bills. The trainees are very annoying. Trust me. I trust you. I trust you a lot, man. Power T says we've let all the weirdos come out of the closet. Now it's normal and they feel comfortable out in public. That's fine. They can come out of the closet and do whatever they want to, man. But don't be doing stuff that you know is illegal or stuff that you know is not right or stuff that's cheating, obvious cheating by making men and women compete against each other in a sport that's obviously put them at a disadvantage. Women have fought to get those sports for so long, and now you got men taken away from them again. Men that claim to be women that aren't women. You know, it's just like Drop Dead Fred. It don't exist. They made up a word for it. The word's transgender, but it's not a real word. It's a made-up word. And they get mad when I call them the made-up word people, but that's what they are. They're made-up words. They're Drop Dead Freds. If y'all know that movie, y'all know what I'm talking about. But they can do whatever they want, man. It's just like the whole thing where, we let kids make their decision if they want to be man or woman. They've already had that decision made for them when they come out of your womb. All right, if a boy is 8 years old, 9 years old, and he's got a penis, and so, gee, I feel all feminine. I might be gay. Maybe I'm even a girl because my parents told me that it's okay to think that. Well, maybe I'm a dog. Maybe I'm going to declare myself as a dog then. That way I can walk around naked as long as I grow my hair out. As long as I can get real hairy, I can walk around naked and take a shit in the park. And I'm a dog, so I can do it and get away with it. Butt ass naked in the park taking a shit. See how stupid that is? But that's wrong, man. To let children make a decision to cut their penis off? Well, we're letting them make their own decisions. Okay, well, I guess you should let children decide whether or not they can drink alcohol and smoke weed and do meth if you're going to allow them to chop and maim their damn body, man. You see how stupid y'all are? I hope some people are watching. They're probably going to report me. It's your fault, Rye Guy. You got me started, man. See y'all at Auburn. Boomer. Great show, Outlaw. Appreciate you coming in here, Marshall Jenkins. Me and Marshall go back and forth a little bit. We disagree on some stuff. I think sometimes that Marshall is in that same crowd of people sometimes that thinks that I'm borderline touching on racism. Well, I can guarantee you that's not the case, Marshall. I just think Deion Sanders is a con man. So I call him Con Time. Like I said, I don't care if he's purple, black, yellow, plaid. I call it transgender transformers. JPC coming out as a transgender, non-binary dog. JPC's coming out as a transgender, non-binary dog. Woof, woof, bitch. You ain't got me cussing, man. Damn, man, I've been good this whole show, man. And Tracy's been getting on me about that. She didn't tell me I need to quit cussing so much. I thought I'd done good now. I think it's like 3 cuss words, man. All right, brothers and sisters, it's been fun. Maybe we can do this again sometimes. Appreciate all the donations tonight. Kenneth Qualls and Damo, and hopefully I'm saying the right name right. Damo. Appreciate the donation. Power T. Appreciate your donation, brother. If you ever want to be on the show, let me know, man. Hit me up on DMs and X at OCF Productions or on Facebook under Jesse Paul Clark. That's spelled Jesse without the I. Everybody tries to stick that damn I in there. Jesse Paul Clark on Facebook, and I'll add you, or you can add me, and I can put you in our messenger chat if you want to be. Damo says, yeah, you got it, Damo. All right, brother. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.